Alrighty. It's been a while. It's been a while since I spoke to y'all. Uh, I've had a lot of things to do out here in the outside world aside from YouTube. I'd like to thank y'all. After 6 years, we just broke 2,800 subscribers. Now, uh, one of my visions for this channel was creating it, building it, crashing it, flatlining it, just as a basic throttling test. I needed to test the metrics, test the data. I'm the kind of guy that, when we're talking about meteorology or we're talking about any subject, um, I like to feel it. I like to know it. I like to have an intuitive grasp. It's not just read the book. It's not just execute the problem. It is feel it and know it and understand it. Do it with your eyes closed. Know everything. You can walk with no eyes, no ears, no nothing. A sixth sense, so to speak. So we're not going to go into that too much, but we are going to go into this. The division in America. This is the 19th episode. And I've run into some problems. I don't know if you're running into this problem, but I'm going to go ahead and give you some tips. Let's go ahead and see if we're actually still working at the thing. Again, what I find is people will give you money. People will give you a pat on the back. They won't give you their hands. They won't give you their feet. They won't give you their effort. For me, a lot of guys say, hey, you're a control freak. I said, I want it done a certain way. That's how I need it done. I have vetted hundreds of people. I have been through hundreds of people. This is going back possibly 1,000 people or more. This goes back over the course of about 10 years. When one of my mentors actually taught me how to engage people. I never was very open and attack people directly. I didn't really always have those skills, the social skills that I've developed today. I didn't have the intelligence that I have today. So, I was really far behind. I spent 18 years of my life with a bunch of fucking losers. They don't want to say they're losers, and that's fine and dandy. Some of them had money. But, did they ever teach me how to handle money? Uh-uh. Do they have any fucking money other than the money that they inherited and squandered away? Uh-uh. Are they still paying our mortgages? Absolutely. Are they still renting their own places? Abso-fucking-lutely. They don't have warranty deeds. They don't have things done like me. And that's okay. The problem I have is I have certain fellers, just a handful of people in my family. And the reason why I mentioned family, and if you're watching, I'm sorry, don't get, take this with a grain of salt. Maybe you can learn how to be a better fucking family member. Family hits home to a lot of people because most of them have big families. They have families that mean something to them. My family went to shit. I had a shit family. Garbage. They set me up for failure. Supposedly there's a lot of corrupt stuff went on when I was a kid. I don't know. And I'm paying for it now. So, basically just a bunch of roaches. They give roaches a bad name. So, my main thing is, okay, mother, for example, or father, for example. And I'm not talking about my mother or my father or your mother or your father, but use this as an acid test and say, you know what, Dad, you've supported me for a long time. You've wrote me $100 checks. You like what I'm working on. Go, son. Be a great man. It's like, all right. Well, why don't you roll up the sleeves and work with me? Oh, fuck, I can't do that. Man, I gotta work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that, the other. Same with Mom. Oh, son, I love you. I'm weeping, shedding tears and crying But you ask, hey, don't talk to this motherfucker out here, and they're gonna talk to the motherfucker. I said, so clearly there's a breakdown in respect. You're not following my fucking orders. So if you're not following my orders, you're not on my team. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you right now, I'm giving you specific fucking orders. If you're not gonna follow the orders, you're insubordinate. You know, I recommend people look at military protocol. I've done, officer's oath, and I've done the 10 general orders for centuries. You can see all those in the video, I mean, in my YouTube. So, you know, I get guys. One of the biggest things I have with division, I spent a long time dealing with pussies and cowards and these 12-step programs like, oh, get sober, get a life. And they're like, oh, you can't make it. You're a deadbeat dad. You know what? Why aren't you spending time? You're letting a beer or a rail, a hot rail, or a fucking needle get in the way for my needle users. You're letting drugs get in the way. I'm like, okay, I let that eat at me for a long time. I let it eat at me all the way to rehab. And where they gave me more drugs than I was on before I went to fucking rehab. Bill you out the ass. I said, all right. I did that for a while and I got run out of so many communities. They run me out. And the final straw to my Satan washers or Satan worshipers on here. Satan. I chose Satan. They chose Jesus. I prayed to Jesus. I prayed to Muhammad. And I said, you choose Jesus. I choose Satan. Sectarian religion and politics should have no place in such an organization. But they bring it in there. They say, I don't like that guy. I had the guy come out, I'm not going to say who, he said, one of my closest friends, he said, I can't like someone my God doesn't like. Or I can't like something my God doesn't like. I'm like, well, who's your God? Who is this thing up there? Hell, I believe in God. I think God likes me. I think I'm a man of good character. Who is this God? You start talking to them like that, they snap. They snap like this, particularly the older ones. They're so bent and ingrained in that religion. If you challenge their religion, if you challenge their political stuff, they will snap. They'll turn on you. They'll fucking turn on you. And I've had that happen so many times. And that's why I chose Satan. I chose Satan. We're not talking about masonry here. I don't know a lot about masonry. I'm not a mason. I don't purport to be a mason. But I will tell you I know a little bit. Basically, some of the shit I've read on the internet about blackball. It's called black balls or black keys. When you're admitted into a Masonic lodge as an entered apprentice, all the members of the lodge have to unanimously agree to admit you into the lodge. If one person black keys or black balls you, you're not in the lodge. You can't enter in the Mason lodge. So there's any number of things. We're not going to go into all these things that may or may not prohibit you from getting into the Mason lodge. But I look at the Mason lodge kind of like I look at the government, kind of like I look at the military. These are supposed to be the top. These are supposed to be some of the most sophisticated organizations that we have to choose from in America. So I try to model myself after them a little bit. So, I have a lot of shit to work on here. I don't know if you can see, but I've got tons and tons and tons of stuff that I need people to work on. I had one guy, he prayed, me and him prayed. He prayed before his God. He said he wasn't going to quit working doing the SDK development. Guy never showed back up. I wanted to go back there. I called him. I pressured him. He could not handle submitting to me. He couldn't. He couldn't, and he got angry. And after a while, I said, look, it's not a sprint, it's a long term run. I need people that are going to be here for the long term. People that are interested in more than money. Well, it's always money. It's always money. And then I found, like I said, I've dealt with people I admire that are rich. Uh, Money alone won't get them working. Because once you've got them on money, it's basically like getting somebody on dope. You know, they're gonna work hard as long as the dope's there. Hell, as long as the beer's there, you keep them boozed up, doped up. Man, they'll work there for days. But as soon as the dope's gone and the booze is gone, they're gone with it. They're gone with it. And I've seen people like that, and I've dealt with people. I've seen in construction. Had guys, man, I had a crew boss. He wouldn't tolerate drinking or drugging on the job. He said, hell, some of his guys jumped ship. He said, man, I need some guys in here to do this job. The only guys he knew, he had to scrape around at the bottom of the barrel, and he had to find some people. He had to find some people, and lo and behold, they said, hell, I mean, we got money. They had money. They have their own job. He's like, well, man, you're cutting into my drinking time. So, like he taught me, it's more about drinking than it is working. It's more about, cracking whores and, snorting lines than it is about working. They're doing the work as an ends to a mean. They don't give a rat's ass about the work. They don't care. They're doing it so they can get what they want. See, and that's what, like my old man used to say. 99% of the people you meet in this world are garbage. They're fucking garbage. They're done. They're warm logs. They're filth. I said, I believed I could indoctrinate any of them. I said, if they follow some simple fucking instructions. And I get people, like I said, the closest people I have, my own supposed blood. They say blood's thicker than water. That's a load of horse shit. It may be for some people, it means something. With bigger families, they're a little tighter knit. It's all a neurological thing. I spent time with a woman. I loved her. I told her to ditch the family. Go out and do what you do. And always ended back up at home, back up at home, back up at home. You know why? Because the motherfucker was never conditioned. Never conditioned to go out there and fight and win. I had to go out there, I had to fight and win. I didn't have a choice. And that's that. And that's where I am now. And guess what they want for you? They want you to die. They want you to die. They don't want to see you win. And the minute you start winning, they start trying to take your shit. And I deal with that on the internet. I don't give a rat's ass what any of these gurus tell you. You got to watch out. Because they're hacking your phones, they're hacking your eyes, they're hacking your face. They're trying to duplicate you. They want your ideas, they don't want you. You're a liability. They want to crack you open like a goddamn pistachio and take the fruit out and throw your fucking hull on the ground, just like they did to Lane Stanley. Just like they did to the Kurt Cobain. Just like they did to the Sublime guy. Just like they did to Tupac. Once you make enough money, they're going to get rid of you. It's in the English language. The founders, the faux under. Read it. The originator of the company is the one they whack. They take your shit. I've been trying to figure out a way to get around it. I haven't found one yet. Like I said, they're like, well, Tyler, what's this big old plan? I said, man, it ain't no plan. I can't get nobody to work for me. I've had them all. From the richest, well, maybe not the richest to the rich. I mean, I had a guy, really wealthy guy. I tried to get him to work with me. Why he didn't continue to work with me, I don't know. It might be the hair, it might be the teeth, and that's where we go back to the masonry and the black balls and the black keys. And I told him, they fucked me, they pushed me around. They said, Tyler, You're not a good man. We make good men better. You're a bad man. Just like AA. I did the self-help bullshit. They said, we just people that are constitutionally incapable of grasping a manner of living. I said, well, he must be constitutionally incapable. They said, well, let's just label him. He's a bad man. That's a bad man. We can't make him good. He's not fit for the lodge, so to speak. So I figured this out. I said, I'm not fit for the lodge. Why? It's like, oh, well, you did this or you did that. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm like, so what did you do? I said, it seems to me, let's just take the Mason Lodge and apply what I've learned in the Mason Lodge to the workforce. All right. Why aren't you going to hire me? Or to parenting. Why can't I see my son or my daughter? It's like, oh, well, it seems to be there's a fucking beer in the way. It's like, really? Is there a beer in the way? I said, that's pretty exciting. That's astonishing doctrine. I said, is the beer in the way of the work because of you, or is the beer in the way of the work because of me? Is me worshiping Satan in the way because of me, or is it in the way because of you? Because it seems like you have a problem with Satan. You have a problem with me drinking. You have a problem. You coming up with reasons why the man can't work. You're coming up with reasons why the man can't go into the lodge. You're coming up with reasons why he isn't, because you're scared. Because I'm a better man. I'm superior. I'm superior man. And when you start talking confidence and superiority, they don't like that. They want you down. They want you way down in a hole in the ground. They want you in prison. And that's where the division is. That's why the language is rigged on division. Said, well, me personally, I'm a Trump man. I dealt with a lot of censorship of that. Whether it was correlated to that or not, I don't know. But, when I talk about Trump in certain circles, people get angry. I've been run out. Things get bad. And there's no lie. There's no lie. I mean, there's some people that I know, I'm not talking bad about them, but, you start talking about Trump and they get angry, real angry. And that's why they say avoid religion and shit. I know a lot of people, you start talking about Jesus, everybody's, oh, Jesus. Oh, you say Jesus and you're going to get a job. You say Satan, you're going to get assassinated and thrown in a fucking lake. That's just how it is. So, what it really is, if you boil it all down to the rudiments, and you'll see, people are worried. They spend more time figuring out why they don't want to work than why they do want to work. I said, if you were so goddamn bent on me getting a job, you'd let the man do what he wants to do. And I saw this. I saw it on our construction site. They couldn't get nobody to show up. No one would work for this fucking guy unless they let drugs and alcohol on the job. And lo and behold, they did. And the motherfuckers were drinking, they were drugging, and they worked longer. They got the job done. They said, hell, hey, if I can drink and smoke, shit, I'll just stay here. Hell, I ain't got to go home. Hell, let's bring a hooker over here. You know what I mean? That's just fucking work. So what it was is, they didn't want to make the compromise necessary to make the deal to get the job done. So that's where I was like, who's holding the black keys here? Because it seems to me you're more concerned about a beer than I am. I can do the job. You know what I mean? And if the beer's got to go, let it go. Who gives a shit? And that's why I decided, I don't bathe anymore. I quit bathing after the Facebook censoring. I got dreadlocks. You see my devil horns I'm growing here. Uh, the way I've been treated by these people online has pushed me. They've isolated me from my community. Uh, I decided that I was going to wear it like a coat. I said, fuck that. You know, the way they do me, uh, it's the hair or it's the bathing. I said, that's why I don't bathe anymore. I said, it's not, and I don't smell bad. I mean, I really don't smell that bad. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, I went up to some people and I said, hey, do I smell funny? They're like, no, man. I said, okay, did let me ask you a question. How long do you think it's been since I took a bath? You know, I'll put it to you like this. I didn't took a bath this month. I didn't take a bath. It's been about 3 or 4 months since I took a bath. No bathing. But I tell you what, I work and I sweat. And that sweat, boy, come out clean. And it is what it is. I said, if that's the sacrifice that it takes to prove that somebody's more concerned about somebody taking a bath than they are about working together, then that's the sacrifice it takes. And the same with my family. I told them, I said, look, I asked a simple fucking request. I'm not going to say what that request is out of confidentiality, but it's a simple thing. Anybody can do it. Any swinging dick out of a porta-john, any bum off the street, any retard, anybody can follow these fucking instructions. I did it. I completed the fucking job. So I challenged them as paying back. I said, hey, paying forward. Here's your gift. Do it. Do this. Follow these fucking instructions. Help me build. They wouldn't do it. And it goes back, like I said, I've had numerous girlfriends, fiancés, whatever you want to call it. They will not do what you tell them to do. The more you tell them to do something, the more resistant they get. How to figure out how to get somebody to do something you tell them to do, if I could figure it out, I'd be rich right now. Because I'd have a bunch of people that I could get to get the job done. Nobody wants to get the job done. They're more concerned about reasons why they can't work than why they should work. And I said, well, same thing goes for the drugs. And the drugs are what really cuts me to the quick. I can't deal with the drug laws. You get alcohol or you get sugar and caffeine. I was just, I'm registering for college again. It's time to go back to school. And they're like, oh, you must conform with the drug-free campus laws. I said, drug-free? I said, you mean the drugs are free? You mean it's almost 2020 and we don't, you're still looking at 20 years in prison for a fucking little teener of coke? I said, is that free? Is that a free country? Because if that's a free country and we're the freest nation and I'm looking at 20 years in prison for a fucking bag of powder, you're insane. You're ape shit, bat shit crazy. And that's coming from a crazy person. I said, if this is a drug-free campus, I want you to pull those fucking Coca-Cola fraud machines. That's where it all came from. You ever wonder why there's no wars in countries where there's Coca-Cola? Exactly. Because that shit goes in their veins, calcifies the pineal gland. Caffeine is a psychoactive substance. It's a drug. Everybody knows it. It gives kids ADHD. They're sugar bag babies, crack babies. Where's the crack babies? And then the worst thing of all is I get these AA, NA, uh, fucking post-doctorate junkies that come to me about a beer while they're smoking fucking cigarettes and drinking coffee and fucking meat. Talking about drug free. There are about 10 or 20 different fucking prescriptions. But oh, I can't take that narcotic for my pain medicine. I said, you people are stupid. You people are what's wrong with this fucking country. I said, if you need to pray and worship your plastic Jesus so you can look down on me and you can look down on my satanic followers because they're different, you, my friend, need to listen to your own Bible. You need to remove that plank from your fucking eye before you start looking at the mote in my eye. And that's all I got to say about that.